Hello, everyone, and welcome. Now, I've had a hiccup on Facebook, so I'm over here on Zoom doing this, and I will send this video out to everybody so that people can see it. I wanted you to be able to show you the PowerPoint, and I couldn't get it up again on Facebook, hence we're over on Zoom. So this webinar, this training is about the strategies that you need to be able to empower yourself around difficult people. Now, my name is Janice Davies. I've been working in this field for a number of years. Everything I have had to learn for myself, from high school bullying to bullying in relationships to personal partners, where I wasn't married, to workplace and even bosses. So I know quite a little bit about bullying. And in fact, I'll share a little bit more about that in a moment. But this information is something that you can use, and as you grow up your ladder of success in life, you can keep applying and fine-tuning this information for yourself. So lots of tips. There is a free ebook, which I'll talk about in a moment. So why do you want this? Well, so your soul is within your body. You are here, whichever way you want to think of it, to be able to be the grandest version of yourself that you choose to be. And that's entirely up to you. Now, what happens, everybody comes into your life and they try and mold you with their thoughts, their beliefs, to think and do the things the way that you think they should be for you. And some of that is okay, but we just want to talk about you for a minute. You've got your own dreams, but you've got to be able to confident to do that. Things that you love are your passions, are not always your parents' passions. And you've got to work out who you are and find a job that you really, really love. You've got your own gifts and talents, things that you're really good at. Mine's not baking, but last night I cooked a Christmas cake. But, so it's like this. You've also got your soul. Everyone has a soul. Everyone has their own fingerprint, their own soul print, their own iris, their own heartbeat. So you are uniquely you, and you have the opportunity in this lifetime to become the best version of that yourself. So that's really what your life is about. Whether you choose to get stuck and get lost and be negative, or whether you choose to step upwards and onwards, entirely up to you. Every single person in the world has the same opportunity, and everyone has the same experiences that they've got challenges with, and everyone has free will to choose. So we're looking at what it is that you want to do. So essentially, it's about you learning to feel good. What makes you feel good? Is it walking in the bush? Is it walking on the beach? Is it running? Is it cooking? Is it sewing? Is it crafting? And you've got to find those things, because that creates a whole different sort of chemicals operating in your body. Now, when you feel not okay, the chemicals are completely different. So everything that makes you feel good and is positive is something that is lifting you up. And your feeling good is that you are in control of your own dreams. Other people have their dreams. I met a wonderful, beautiful lady from the islands, a young lady in sort of her 20s, that's young to me, very young, who was a lawyer and hated it. And so we had a talk, and she said she was a lawyer because both of her parents wanted to be lawyers, and they couldn't because English was their second language. So they brought the daughter up to speak perfect English and to be a lawyer, which is what they wanted, and she was very unhappy. She was a different personality. She was a creative person, but there she was in this world. And often that's what happens, and that's why we hear about the midlife crisis and things like that, because people have done what they should do, not what they want to do. So feeling good is your end goal. So, I've been on my journey, I've got my dreams, I've got, the work that I've done. I've been guided to be here, to do this work. And how do I say that? We've got a part of our brain at the back here where we can get in touch with God, divine, whatever you want to call it, a higher source, and that can provide messages to us. It's like when you're doing the dishes and you suddenly get, oh, that's a great idea, I want to do that. What's happened to your brain is that because you've not been thinking of anything negative, positive, and you've sort of had a little gap in your thinking while you're, washing the dishes, a new thought has come in. And so the question is where has that thought come from? And it's something that is inspiring you. Maybe it's inspiring your soul and inspiring your heart. And so I've had that. And so I've been on my journey to know what it is that I have to do. Now, you are, as I said, you are unique. Your own iris, your own heart, your own fingerprint. So you are also here. Everybody is here to do something specifically fantastic that they love, that brings them joy. And what's that word, that song, Westlife, Flying Without Wings? You know, you do it because you love it. And this is mine. So I'm bringing a movie to the world, and these phone apps around the other side, I'm going to talk a little bit in our presentation today, opportunities where I can teach the same information I'm teaching to you today, excuse me, in a movie. So, but you've got to find your thing. Maybe it's, something to do with saving the planet, or bringing another new invention to the world, or helping people, whatever it is. You have got something unique here to do. And these difficult people are trying to sort of close in and keep you down here small, whereas really what I'm trying to do today is say, hey, this is where you are. Here's the tools. Let's go out there. And so it's up to you to choose that, yes, you want to get on your personal journey. So as the original Wonder Woman did, our number one job is to honor the goddess within us, your secret self, and let her shine. And when they brought the Wonder Woman movies to the world, and because I'm into movies, I sort of follow with this, they were surprised the huge audience and impact and popularity of the Wonder Woman movies, because these movies were made specifically for them, and women flocked to see them. So the Wonder Woman movies were huge successes. We haven't got all the superhuman powers that they had in the movies, but we've got our intuition, we've got our gut reactions, we've got all the senses that we can use that can give us indications. So we have got this, and this is our job, to find that person. And so we wonder why we should do it. Now, first of all, we've got to do it for ourselves, because we have been guided to be our best version of yourself. Somebody would have shoulder tapped you in school maybe, or in a job, and asked you to do something, and you might have said, no, I'm not good enough, I can't do that. I've been there, done that, and it took me years to embrace something that was given to me. But when we look at women, today, there's still not equality. Here's some statistics. Now, I got this off Facebook, so I have no proof where these statistics came from, but really it's up to each of us to empower ourselves. The men aren't going to do it for us. Our parents are not going to do it. They can guide us and support us upwards, and so can the men. But ultimately, it's up to us to be able to choose to do it, to love them, to love us, to be love, and to embrace love as a win-win, not a win-lose relationship thing that I'm going to talk about. So these statistics are very real. So your job to empower yourself is, once you get into that stage that you're feeling that there's something that you really want to do, is to go and do this work, because like me, we're all helping each other. So this book, I've written this ebook, and if you have not received it, which a lot of people haven't, because something happened with the technology, it would download, but then people couldn't receive it for some reason. I'll go back to that. Take a photo of that email, janice@attitudespecialist.com. Just flick me an email and say you'd like the free ebook about difficult people, and I will email it out to you. It's got the information that I'm going to be sharing with you here today. And so what I'm going to do is give you that, but I'm going to give you extras today. So once you've got that email, you can, you can download it, and you've got the most of the major information that I'm adding onto it. So let's have a look. The most important thing after number one, why do you want to do it? And that's point number one. Number two is, who are these people that you deem as difficult or challenging? So when we're born, our family, we're with them the most in our lives until we choose not to be, or until we move overseas or whatever. So we've got our family, our siblings, our cousins, grandparents. Those relations are often in our life for longer time than our school friends or our school colleagues or our work colleagues or our bosses or our partners or our lovers. So there's all these people. And so when we are alive, part of our life is being with people. But we want to be with people who value and respect us, not with people who put us down and try to get us to do what they want. And like that girl, beautiful girl, was in a career as a lawyer who hated it. But she was doing it because mum and dad wanted it. So she's trying to please her mum and dad. And somewhere along the line, we've got to make those choices for ourselves, as tricky as it is. So why are these people doing it? Well, so for a start, our parents are our guiding light when we're young. From 0 to 7, the most information comes into our mind. And we are just like sieves, and everything just gets straight into our mind. And we zap it up. We just gets ingrained in there, whether it's good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. And those create the beliefs in our lives until we choose to change them. So they're here to guide us, and we obviously would love to have great support, and most of us do, but some people don't. And so that becomes a challenge. The other people, if we're at work, if it's our boss or our team manager, are they giving us work that is actually our job description, and we don't like the work because we don't like the job, but we're in the job because we want the money. So in part of that, when we are looking at who is giving us guidance and why, if you're in a situation like that, and I've been there as well when I was finishing writing the movie, I was in a job very challenging with the boss, but I kept reminding myself that I was there just to earn the money so I could then spend my time doing what I wanted, which was writing. So I had to spin that around so that I didn't feel so anti towards the work, which at times was quite challenging. So think about that. Why are they doing it? Or from anyone else, anyone else. If it's a traffic officer telling us to slow down, we're going to slow down because there's an accident up ahead or south. So think about that. Or is it somebody bullying who is trying to not intentionally make you feel not okay, but you do feel not okay, and therefore you've got to learn how to create a new boundary for yourself, which I'm going to talk about later. Now, bullies, when they make you feel not okay, they feel powerful, they feel strong, they're in control. They've put that person down, or they've made a comment, and you kind of cringe away from it and sort of think, wow, I don't think that. But they will continue, and they will continue on that. And I've been there as a peacemaker, I've been there till suddenly you start to believe it. It's like, actually, no, I don't really think I thought that, but they're quite clever bullies and will turn things around so that you actually think that you are not okay. And that's when it's anywhere along that time, it's an opportunity for you to get help from anybody or learn this stuff here that I'm teaching here today, and then to be able to make some changes. So let's have a look at point number 3. Now, this is, you've got to understand yourself. So there's 4 personalities. We've got the 4 of them. 2 are our strengths, 2 are our weakness. And if you look at all those 4 birds, you can think the owl's wise, the dove's caring, the peacock's out there, creative and showy and colourful, and the eagle is the team manager. Now, in here, what happens is that those 4 personalities interact all through our lives. When we understand who we are, we need to understand that the opposite personality has their attributes, and we grade them and they grade us up. So as we learn about who we are, and at work, we've got the owl working in technical stuff, accounts, engineers, the dove working anything, teachers, caregivers, secretaries, the peacock, the entrepreneurs, the arts people, and the music people, and the eagle are the CEOs and the leaders. So we need them in every business, and we've got 2 of those ourselves. So it's important we learn who we are. And then once we've got all the wisdom, we can then relate to them in different language, or we can understand why we are being told to do something. Because if you're a technical accountant and you need sales report, which is the owl to the peacock, peacocks hate sales, hate doing reports. If you make it colorful and put emojis in there, it's much more fun for them. They'll be more receptive to it. So understanding yourself, because the difficult people are generally triangly opposite personalities. And if you understand that, then you are you are feeling more comfortable with them, and you can then actually tailor your own communication with them as well. So the next thing I want to talk about is the point number 4, what type of relationship? Now, this is from a book called I'm Okay, You're Okay. It's about transactional analysis. And there's 4 types. The lose-lose is all the dysfunctional relationships right around the world. I've been there, done that. Didn't know I was there until I went looking for answers. The win-lose is like a parent bringing up a child, or a HR officer or a team leader bringing up their staff members. The win-lose, the third one down, is when, and I've had this, I felt okay, but I had a bully at work who I was warned about, and he eventually, after 6 months, targeted me. But I understood this, and I knew it was not my problem, but he was trying to bring me down and blame me for all the things he was doing wrong. The fourth one there is the win-win, where we are loved and respected, and we've got a relationship like this where we can honor, respect, communicate with each other. That's what we want. I've thought I've had it. My family have got it, but I haven't. So I've just got some other things to keep learning. So it's understanding where you are and what skills you need to move up into the win-win relationship that you probably want. Now, the skills, number 5. This is where you can communicate. You can communicate physically. And I remember when my ex-husband told me that if I did everything he wanted me to do, it would all be okay. And it's like, no, there's 2 people in the relationship, and I was willing to take 50% of the blame, but he was trying to give me 100% of the blame. So what I did, I fixed my 50% and I left. So in that case, my communication was physically leaving, and that's absolutely fine. And I physically left jobs as well, and that solved the problem as well, because where I was in a dysfunctional place, and so I needed to learn, move on, and find a better place to be. So when we are effectively communicating with our mouth, this is all body language as well, so it's verbal and as well as by our body language. The 3 types are passive, and that's where we kind of just, as they have, hung their head down and just given up, because they either don't know how to express themselves or they've become the peacemaker. And doves, that dove personality, are the biggest peacemakers in the world until they learn to change. And I'll give you some words in a moment to use. So passive communication is in the lose-lose relationship. The aggressive communication is this here, pointing the finger, it's always your fault, thumping the desk, slamming the door, and physical can be mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical as well. So if you're getting physical communication, please go and get some help straight away. Go to a church. There's churches right around the world. Go to a women's centre. There's women's centres all right around the world. So this aggressive communication is also in all of those lose-lose relationships that we're talking about. And it's not okay. And so one can be aggressive and one can be passive. So you've got, where's my in front of it? One can be aggressive and one can be passive. And so that's that not okay communication either. What we're looking for is the 3rd type of a communication, which is assertive. And the assertive communication is when you are talking at this level. You're listening, you're understanding, you're asking questions, you're negotiating, and you're actually open to respect the person, respect their views. You do not have to be the same. You do not have to think the same, but you actually respect that they've got different ideas. So let's have another look at assertive communication, because you're wanting to get here. And when you do, your communication has made you feel good because you've created new spaces, and your self-esteem and your confidence is much better. So we've got assertive communication and the win-win relationships. You've been able to create boundaries with words, or physically, you've left like I did. You can express yourself with I am confident, I feel this, I think this, and that is exactly what you are deemed to do, because nobody can say that your feelings are wrong. Your feelings and your thoughts belong to you. So you've learned to be confident. You ask for help, which means that, or look for help. You'll read books, you'll go on transformational courses. you'll watch webinars like this because you're looking for answers. You'll get coaches, you'll get mentors, because you know for you that if you want to move up, you've got to actually be able to learn the skills that you need. You admire others. Well, you know, I always admire Oprah and the women that are achieving things as well. Lifelong learners, always learning and valuing and respecting people. So this is where you want to be. You want to become that, but you've got to learn how to become that so that you can create boundaries around the difficult people. And here are the words to use. So you can write these down or you can add them to the notes. Okay, first of all, to create boundaries, and I've talked about the dove personality, who are because they're caregivers and they've got big hearts and they like to look after people. They're also the people with the highest stress level, and because they don't stop until they're sort of exhausted, and they have burnout as well. So for a dove or any personality, it's starting to use no. When you're saying no, you're saying yes to yourself. So it can be, no, I haven't got time anymore. No, maybe I can do it later. I'll let you know. No, it's not part of my job. And I've had people at workshops, because I've done this difficult people workshop for 7 years right around New Zealand. And, you know, they had people who didn't want to learn the computer came and gave them their work all the time. So they'd go out and have fun, and this other person who was a receptionist was left doing the work. And it actually wasn't part of her job. Or it can be, no, I have other plans. So learning to say no is effectively just putting your hand up around you, or at the bottom one, creating a new space for yourself and with all these people to stay that far away from you because you want to do your own thing. So you're stopping and you're creating a new boundary for yourself. Now, the other phrase which is great to use is, jot this down if you haven't already got it, I have changed my thinking. Now, nobody can say you can't change their thinking. You've got your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own mind. And so by just saying I've changed my thinking, that doesn't work for me anymore, or I don't like spaghetti, I only chili spaghetti because I only ate it because it kept the peace, I'm just going to have hamburgers and fries, whatever. I've changed my thinking. I'm trying some new ideas. I'm trying some new things. I've changed my thinking. I want more time to get fit, to study, to be me, whatever it is. But nobody in the world can say you cannot change your thinking. So again, that's creating a new boundary for yourself. So those two phrases are the most important ones to use. So the next thing I want to talk about is your self-esteem and your confidence. So in dysfunctional relationships, it's low, and I didn't know I had low self-esteem. So from high school bullying, I've been a leader, and then high school bullying, I just sort of come and become an introvert. And so when we've got low self-esteem, we lack self-awareness, which I did do. I was negative, no goals. I was always jealous of other people, but we can be competitive, and that's the bullying side as well. And we avoid who we are. Now, I'm going to talk to you about a course in the end of this. I've got a lot more information about low self-esteem. My whole movie that I'm bringing to the world has got the story of self-esteem. When we have gone on that journey, and we have high self-esteem, we've learned about ourselves, we admire people, we've got goals, we build win-win relationships, and we're personally responsible for ourselves. So that's a big difference. Now, what I just want to share here is the self-esteem quiz. So this is actually from the movie that I'm bringing together. If you copy that down the bottom, that YouTube, you can go, and then there's a video how to do the self-esteem quiz. So follow that. But basically, you're working out where you are now and where you want to be. So, for example, when I did this 30 years ago, or might have been longer, I was minus 20. Now I'm 10 out of 10, and I've got a book coming out, 10 out of 10 self-esteem. So there's that whole journey that we've got to go on. So have a look at that video. As I say, photocopy that and go onto YouTube and find that, and you can do your own self-esteem quiz. The difference between that is your journey, and you can do it for your happiness as well. Point number 7 with the strategies is that you've got to learn to think positive. And this graphic here is from my phone app I'm bringing to the movie. So in the negative, we've got not okay. We're fearful. We worry. We haven't been on our journey. We always say, I can't do it, or I failed at something. But when we failed at something, really, we've learned something that we've either learned we don't want that in our life. We don't want that person. We don't want that job. And so it's actually just, again, when I'm going to get my hands out here, we're doing this to ourselves as we are going through life. We're way out here and we're fine-tuning ourselves to the best version of ourselves. Oops, there we go there. So you need to learn how to control your mind, and that's tricky. And I do a lot about that in my course that I'm going to mention with you if you want to do something a bit later on. So with the attitude poem, it's all about how we change from negative to positive. We can't control what other people do. We can only control what we do, how we react to it. And so that's where, if something happens, it's like, I've learned that. I've learned I don't want to do that. I've learned I would rather eat this food. I want to be in this job. I've learned I don't want to be in that type of relationship. I've learned I hate tramping. I would rather be swimming. So all of that is you fine-tuning yourself and thinking, I didn't fail. I've learned what I don't want, to being the positive thinker and embracing that. So those are the 7 strategies. As I say, email me for the ebook. So now what? So what I'm offering now is a course with all that expanded, hugely expanded. It will be in videos. It won't be on Facebook. It will be separate videos that won't get lost, and you can repeat them. There's a workbook. Now, if this is something that you really are ready for, to be able to empower yourself with these difficult people, and be able to fine-tune yourself to a newer version of yourself, you can contact me for a free 30-minute chat. If it's something that you might be interested in learning a little bit more about. Now, what I'm doing is a Black Friday sale. Everyone's doing it. Normally this is $777. I've reduced it. I like these numbers, $333, and it's now going to be $444 until the 7th of December 2024. So take a photo of that tidy cow down the bottom, and you can go in there and book a 30-minute chat with me. Have a look at my calendar. Just check on our time zones. I've got a New Zealand time zone, so just check it's going to work with your time zone. And I've blocked off my times as well into this time. And we can have a chat and see if it's something you might be interested. It's going to be starting after the 7th of December. Those videos are going to sort of come out one every day, but that does not mean you have to watch them every day. They will be available to you forever, and you can just start working your way through those over the holidays. If you've got Christmas coming up, and Christmas time is a time when a lot of families have ruffles, relationships have ruffles, because they're spending more time together than what they used to. And so that's actually, and it was the same with me when my marriage, when I finally had the courage to walk away. So, and I'm not saying you do that, but it's just going to give you some more skills and some more confidence for yourself. And so as you go into the next year, 2025, you will have had all this information. You can go back and you can revise it, you can integrate it bit by bit, because you can't do this all at once. It's a stage that you have to go through, but you can work your way through it. So thank you for listening. My apologies if you were Facebook or somewhere else, but here we are. We finally got it all together for you. And take a copy of my email as well. Email if you've got any concerns. Now, I have done this in businesses right around New Zealand for 7 to 10 years. When I went into a business, I expanded it and we called it Appreciating Your Workplace Team. But this information is vital to get, first of all, you for your personal life. And don't think that they're going to change. They're happy as they are. It's up to you to choose that you want to change. This is your life and you're in control of yourself. So it's up to you to make these little wee snippets of changes with new words, new thoughts, new understanding, so that you can become the best version of yourself. So thank you very much for your time.